Secretary Metzger.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for the opportunity to appear today and share Kansas's perspective on the impact of the Clean Water Rule on Kansas agriculture and water management. According to the EPA website on the Clean Water Rule, the rule is purported to help states manage their water resources and will not broaden the coverage of the Clean Water Act. I am here today to testify that that presumption is not true when describing the rule's application in Kansas. We contend that while certain tributaries are waters of the U.S. under the existing regulation, the proposed rule gives a regulatory definition of tributary that covers waters to include all streams with or without flow. There will be no more need to make a significant nexus determination for dry streams or their adjacent waters because the rule automatically considers them to be waters of the U.S. Applying this blanket definition of tributary in Kansas will result in a nearly 460% increase in the number of stream miles classified as waters of the U.S. in Kansas, subject to all programs and provisions of the Act. A nationally defined one-size-fits-all definition for terms like tributaries is not appropriate given the scarcity of flow in western states such as Kansas and the inherent variability of those streams to impact downstream waters. Rainfall across Kansas ranges from about 15 inches or less with our border with Colorado to more than 40 inches in southeast Kansas. Low rainfall in the west combined with deep depths to the High Plains aquifer make all but the major streams in the west ephemeral, with their channel beds permanently above the water table. These streams, now and forever, only flow in response to localized rainfall. Yet under the proposed rule, any stream with a bed, bank, and ordinary high water mark will be deemed a tributary and is, in such, considered jurisdictional under the Act. In 2001, the Kansas legislature defined a classified stream for purposes of applying the Clean Water Act and water quality standards and implementing programs. The statute and associated regulations directs protection of water quality to the state's significant water resources while logically excluding ephemeral streams, grass, vegetative or other waterways, culverts, and ditches. Kansas has demonstrated great success in managing our water resources. Through the implementation of locally driven water quality plans, Kansas has produced improvements in water quality, including the removal of several water bodies from the state's list of impaired waters. These improvements are the result of appropriate, positive coordination of state agencies with local jurisdictions and individual landowners. The proposed rule and the intervention of federal agencies into management of marginal waters will degrade those positive relationships. The distraction and diversion brought forth by this rule will incur additional expenditures at the state level for marginal environmental benefit and diminish success in water quality improvements in Kansas. The inevitable slowdown in permit reviews and increase in bureaucratic paperwork will unnecessarily delay and deter economic growth and impede the adoption of soil and water conservation practices by the farmers and ranchers of Kansas. As shared during the public comment period by many of the agriculture-related organizations and state agencies in Kansas, as well as Governor Sam Brownback, we request the proposed rule be withdrawn and any future discussions begin anew with the full consultation and advice of the state. Mr. Chairman, as we saw with the now withdrawn interpretive rule, federal rulemaking without proper consultation with the states leads to unintended consequences. I believe that today's panel discussion restores state-level discussion towards the development of a better, meaningful rulemaking under the Act. We hope that the states, as primary implementers of the Act, begin to have a significant role in crafting the future rules by the federal agencies. Thank you for the opportunity to share Kansas's perspective.
We thank you for your testimony, Ms.